Hello, friends. Today's recap is about a teenage boy whose life looks perfect from the outside, but quietly falls apart in ways nobody sees coming. Meet Stig, 15 years old, confident, popular, and always the center of attention at school. His neighbor Lisbeth clearly likes him, but Stig barely notices because his mind is fixed on proving he's older, tougher, and smarter than everyone around him. While school feels like a game, real life hits hard. His older brother is pulled back into the war, and the hope of seeing him again gets crushed overnight. From that moment, Stig starts spiraling. He drifts into risky choices, crosses lines he never thought he would, and begins chasing thrills that only make him emptier. Then grief comes crashing in, and the people he trusted most either misunderstand him or turn away completely. By the end, Stig isn't fighting classmates anymore. He's fighting a system that refuses to hear him. So let's start, friends. Meet Stig. He is 15 years old, confident, and popular. Almost every girl around his age likes him. One of them is his neighbor, Lisbeth. She lives nearby and clearly has strong feelings for him, even though Stig doesn't pay much attention to her. The next day we see Stig at school, sitting in his biology class taught by Miss Viola. Miss Viola is young, attractive, and well aware that most of the boys in class have crushes on her. She carries herself confidently, and the students clearly admire her. During class, the students are pretending to focus on biology, but they're also passing around a single piece of chewing gum to kill time. Everyone takes a turn chewing it. Suddenly, a fly starts buzzing around the room and lands on the blackboard. Using a makeshift slingshot, Stig quickly kills the fly, earning silent admiration from his classmates. When class ends, everyone leaves, except Stig. Miss Viola stops him and tells him that chewing used gum is unhygienic. She also asks him to clean the dead fly from the board. Stig does what she asks, but while doing so, he keeps looking at her. She notices his stare, but doesn't react. Stig rushes home because today is important. His older brother, who has been away fighting in World War II, is supposed to return. When Stig gets home, his brother isn't there. He asks his mother where he is, and she says his brother went out to run some errands. On the table, Stig finds a letter and reads it. The letter explains that his brother has been reassigned and is leaving again, this time to serve on a submarine. Stig feels disappointed and angry. He storms out of the house and runs into Lisbeth. She tries to talk to him, but Stig ignores her and walks away. Later, Stig is working at the local movie theater when his brother suddenly appears. His brother explains that he's excited to continue serving in the war and tells Stig not to worry. Even though Stig smiles, it's clear he's still troubled. One day before class, Stig is reading a dictionary, trying to look smart. When Miss Viola walks into the room, he quickly puts the book away and stares at her. She catches him looking, but chooses not to say anything. From this point on, Stig becomes completely focused on her. He watches her constantly in class. Sometimes he even stands outside her house, just observing. His interest slowly crosses into obsession. One afternoon, Miss Viola asks if any students can help her carry some things to her house after school. Without hesitation, Stig volunteers. At Miss Viola's house, things become tense. They end up standing too close, emotions running high. They kiss, then pull away, realizing how wrong the situation is. Miss Viola retreats to another room, but Stig follows. What starts as confusion turns into a secret relationship that continues quietly. Back at school, life goes on. After class one day, the students gather to watch airplanes flying overhead. Stig suddenly leaves and goes to Miss Viola's house without telling her first. She seems annoyed by the surprise visit, but lets him inside. She warns him not to come over unannounced because her husband could return at any time. One day, her husband does come home while Stig is there. The husband doesn't suspect anything because Stig is one of Viola's students. Instead, he starts talking to Stig. They discover they both love classical music. Stig feels a connection because his own father never appreciated it. After that, Stig starts spending more time at the house, carefully avoiding suspicion. One night, Stig can't sleep and goes there again, but when he realizes the husband is home, he quietly leaves instead. A few days later, it's Miss Viola's birthday. Stig buys flowers and goes to her house, but she isn't home. Her husband arrives instead. They talk about his work, music, and life. Later, we see that Stig and Viola continue meeting in secret. As time passes, Stig unexpectedly sees Viola's husband in an awkward situation that makes things clear. Instead of reacting with anger, the husband treats Stig casually. They even begin spending time together, talking and sometimes playing soccer. Eventually, the husband reveals the truth. He knew about the relationship all along. He admits that he cheated early in their marriage and that they never recovered. He drinks to escape, and Viola looks for attention elsewhere. This strange balance is how they survive their marriage. Meanwhile, Lisbeth prepares for a dinner party happening in her building. She dresses up and invites Stig over. Once inside, she locks the door and tells him how much she cares for him. She asks him to accept her feelings. Stig refuses. Hurt but composed, Lisbeth gets dressed again. One evening, Stig and Viola's husband sit together and talk deeply. They share thoughts about life, music, and disappointment. The husband drinks too much and eventually passes out, leaving Stig alone with his thoughts. Viola suddenly walks in and tells Stig to hurry up and come to her room. Stig looks at her, then looks at her husband, who is still passed out. For the first time, Stig actually feels guilty. He quietly gets up and leaves without saying anything. Back at school one day, Stig is writing on the blackboard during class. As he writes, Viola walks past him and secretly writes a message beside his work. She says she will visit him at his house that night. Stig freezes. His mind starts racing. He feels torn because, in a strange way, Viola's husband has become someone he respects. Stig immediately leaves class and hides in the bathroom, unsure of what to do. He can't go back to class, and while wandering the halls, he ends up near the girls' locker room. He knows he shouldn't be there, but curiosity gets the better of him. Inside the locker room, most of the girls leave one by one. Lisbeth is among the last to remain. She catches Stig's eye. She notices him surprised but not angry. The two end up together.
One day, Stig hears a news report on the radio. A submarine has been destroyed. Panic sets in immediately. His brother was assigned to a submarine unit. Days later, a Navy officer arrives at Stig's house and delivers the devastating news. His brother did not survive and will not be coming home. Stig breaks down. He cries alone and later has a drink to numb the pain. He then comforts his mother, who is completely shattered by the loss. The weight of grief settles heavily over their home. Sometime later, Stig is at work at the movie theater when Viola suddenly appears. Soon after, Lisbeth also walks into the theater looking for him and finds him. Lisbeth confronts Stig. When she realizes the truth about his involvement with Viola, she is heartbroken. She breaks things off with him, unable to forgive the betrayal. The next day, Stig goes to Viola's house to end things for good. When he arrives, he sees that she is heavily drunk. She demands that he stay with her, but Stig refuses and says he's there to end the relationship. Viola becomes aggressive and unstable. She threatens him, uses fear and power to control him, and forces herself on him. Stig is left shocked, traumatized, and powerless. The following day at school, Viola fails Stig in biology. She claims she received permission from the principal to make him retake the class. When Stig threatens to report her to the police, she coldly tells him that no one will believe him. He later discovers she has destroyed all records of his grades, leaving him without proof. Around this time, an unrelated incident occurs where a plane dumps fuel over students, injuring some of them. Back in class, Viola continues to provoke him openly, and Stig completely loses control. He kicks over her desk in a moment of rage and desperation. Stig is immediately sent to the principal's office. Instead of listening, the principal orders him to leave and transfers him out of the class. Stig breaks down and cries, completely defeated. After his brother's funeral, Stig's mother asks if he's truly okay. She assumes the pressure from work and the loss of his brother caused him to fail school. She begins to suspect something deeper, but Stig tells her not to worry. He promises to explain everything when she's older. Desperate, Stig visits Viola's husband and asks for help clearing his name. The husband listens but refuses to take sides. He says he will remain neutral, leaving Stig feeling abandoned and betrayed. Time passes. Graduation day arrives. Viola stands proudly, congratulating students. Suddenly, Stig walks into the room, strips away his school identity, and walks out, silently rejecting the system that failed him. And that's how the movie ends. It's a story about a boy who learns that villains don't always look evil, heroes don't always win.